Hey, Pioneer Football League, David Patterson here. If you haven't noticed, here in my muscle shirt, I have Lehman Football, and I'm here with Coach Ditullio, varsity head coach for the Lehman Lions, and the defending bowl champions
Yes.
of New York City. How we doing, sir?
Great. We're in our off season right now. We just had the open house with the Pioneer Football League, and it went great. We got some good questions, some entertaining questions, and showed you guys around a little bit. And we just, spit the bit here, and just happy for you to be here. Yeah.
Now, for those of you that missed it, what we're going to do is just give you kind of like a brief rundown of the academic program here, the overview of the schools, and then get into some of the football end of it. So let me ask you the first question, which would be, I sound like David Hernandez on that. Big shout out to David Hernandez. You should be here doing this, by the way. When it comes to the schools, so just give us a brief rundown. We all know what the mini school system is. Just give me like each of the schools and just a brief what they specialize in.
Well, a lot of the schools are liberal arts schools. Okay, so some of them have specialities. For instance, Renaissance High School is a performing arts school. So kids that are into music, kids that are into acting, drama, things like that. Pelham Lab is a math and science school. That's what they specialize in. Schuylerville Prep is liberal arts. Westchester Square is liberal arts. Lehman has a tech academy, so for kids that are interested in doing things with computers and such. And I am missing Bronx River. Bronx River High School is another liberal arts school. So a lot of them are liberal arts schools, but all of them are great schools in terms of getting kids to pass the state tests and leave and graduate and go on to college. Yeah.
One of the things that really struck me from the meeting today was the system that you guys have from start to finish for incoming freshmen. The practice schedule is a little bit different, a little unorthodox, and in this nowadays where football coaches are now scaling back from the 4 or 5 hour practices and just the repetitive, instead of working harder, working smarter. Can you just tell us a little bit about the schedule and what the theory was behind that?
Well, most of our JV is freshmen. Okay, so the big thing is we try to, instead of doing the 5-day practice week, we adopted 2 years ago a 3-day practice week. The reason we adopted the 3-day practice week is most freshmen struggle academically, and when they do struggle, it's as a freshman. Once they get their feet under them in high school, they're actually pretty good as sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So what we try to do is they practice first. They generally practice from about 3 to 5, 5:30, and then we send them home. Give them plenty of time to do their homework. Give them a few days off in the middle of the week in order to take care of projects and such. And just have, instead of having the 5-day practice, we just work it in somehow. We work things in. There's some chalk talk stuff that we could even do on our players page that we do on Facebook. Sometimes they go, "Coach, I don't understand this play," and we'll put it up there. It's all on our Huddle software. It's all on our coach's office software, so they can see it on the page. We do that as well. And that's what the basis of it is. By the time they get to varsity, we do the 5-day practice weeks where we're getting them prepared with the film, putting together their scouting reports, things like that, and even on the Fridays before games doing a walkthrough. But those are kind of the things that we kind of phase out the first year that they're here. Even during the off season, they do 1 day less. They do 3 days while everybody else does the 4-day workout week with the speed training, the weight training, the skill training, all of that put together. So, but they all have also mandatory study hall as freshmen. They could have a 90 average or a 70 average, 65 average. They have mandatory study hall throughout their freshman year. Then as sophomores, juniors, and seniors, we can fold back a little bit, meaning if the kid is passing all his classes and shown to be mature enough to handle it, then they get 1 hour less that they have to be here, and that's kind of a carrot that we use in order for them to have their grades where they need to be in order for us to send them to college, whether it be academically or athletically.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, with such a stress on academics, you would think that the football end would drop off a little bit. However, I'm speaking with the champs of the bowl division. So how is it that you guys were able to be so efficient that you ended up winning so many games this year?
Well, a lot of it is we were able to do different things in the off season. There's certain things we're able to, in terms of before spring practice starts, we get a couple of workouts in, teaching them formations and such, and things that, you know, we got to break it down. Sometimes coaches are trying to teach kids that have never played football before snap counts, formations, and plays all in the same days. Sometimes you got to break these things up. So sometimes the kids that never learn football, maybe I just teach them stance and snap count. These are things we do before spring ball. Maybe I teach them formations now before spring ball starts. So they have that. And now once, you know, it starts, you know, it's skill development, and it's learning their plays and their playbook and their terminology. So like you said, I couldn't say that. It's not about training harder sometimes, it's about training smarter. Yeah.
Last question for you. Defending the championship this year, or going into a season where you're not going to sneak up on anybody, what do you need to have go right? If you could have one thing this year go completely right, what do you need to have go right in order to have another championship season?
Well,
it's just one thing. You can only choose one.
It would have to be, no, because there's a lot, but it would have to be the kids not being overly confident, because I mean, the biggest thing is they worked hard last year during the offseason. I didn't have to. They were a quarterfinalist the year before. I didn't have to push them as much because they knew it was right there. Now that they have it, are they going to be satisfied? Our motto for the whole offseason is never satisfied, because you can't. Even if your team was the champion, you can get better. Right? You can get better. You can get better as a team. You gave up a touchdown here that you shouldn't have. You had this mental mistake. How do you clean those things up? How do you make yourself, maybe you didn't have the vertical jump to get over that corner and catch that touchdown. How do you work on that during the offseason? As far as the championship goes, we don't know whether we're still going to be a bowl team. That's up to the PSAL. But the only thing I can tell you for sure about the bowl is, at worst, this will be the last year we're there. We will be moving up to the city division no later. So for 8th graders going into 9th grade now, by the time they are going to be 10th grade, they will be back up in the city division.
And now I lied. That was my last question. This is my last question. Define the culture of a Lehman Lion. What's the culture like here, football-wise?
The culture is work. Grind. We used it for the first couple of years here. The motto was perfect the grind. Okay, we can't be perfect, but we can grind towards being perfect. You know, so that was really the thing. If you're here, you're gonna work, and if you're not gonna work, then you're gonna be on the back. You're gonna be standing next to me on the sideline. So that's it. That's the most important thing above talent and anything else of that level. You got to be here to work. You miss a practice here, you're missing a quarter of the game. Doesn't matter who you are. Okay, so, you know, we've had offensive linemen. We know nobody likes to sit in offensive linemen. We've had them sit for a quarter, and we've gone on defense first. That's what we've done. We strategize it, but that's one of the things. That's the most important thing.
Awesome. Coach Ditullio from Lehman High School.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for spending some time, and thank you again for hosting Pioneer League. It's such a great event.
Thank you. Appreciate it.